Okay guys, I have a lot to unpack here, so I hope you watch this all the way through. I'm going to explain in detail why I'm expecting upside for Bitcoin and why I'm expecting once we hit that upside target to have a major crash. I'll explain this in detail and give you key support and resistance levels to pay attention to as well. Remember, you can access all these live charts 24/7 on my website. That link is pinned in the first comment and description. So just recently, I made a post, and by the way guys, if you sign up, you get access to Discord and Twitter, where I keep you guys updated hourly. So I just made a post about an hour ago. I said, look, I took my profit, I'm out of my short, and I'm saying, look, it doesn't mean you have to close your short, but it just means I think we could have some upside, and again, that's what this video is about, explaining why this is the case. If you watched the last video I put up, guys, I'll put a link up to it now. I gave you two scenarios. One was a possible head and shoulders pattern. I said right at the beginning of this video, I said as long as we remain below 22,130 to remain short, because this is a head and shoulders possibly playing out. Your downside target was around 20K, but I said your first support level to watch was 21,000. The upside target I gave, I said if you hold support above 21,130, we have some upside. Now this is where this is going to come into play, so this is key, what I'm trying to show you. And again, on Twitter and in Discord, keep you updated. This is July 25th. I said next likely downside targets to catch a bounce is 21,000 and 20,000. Your downside target from the head and shoulders was around 20,000, but we had very strong support around 21,000 on the G1 chart and very strong support on the Q1 chart. And you have three support levels down here. So that's why I said it was likely, and that's why I made a post here, July 25th, saying if you wanted to scalp along, this would be the point to do it. And you can see we came down, we held support on this on the G1 chart, and we found almost perfect support right here on the Q1 chart. So that's why 21,000 is holding currently, and we came up and we tested resistance. I keep you guys updated with the charts, which ones to watch. So you can see how this played out. We stayed, I said, as long as you're below 22,130 to remain short. This played out perfectly. Now, while our target to the downside was 20K, we did hold support. You can see this line right here was a lot of support, a lot of resistance. We're above it. Again, that's why I closed my short. I'm expecting more upside. This will make sense when I show you a particular chart and why I'm expecting a crash pretty soon. Now, we'll come back to this chart and I'll show you some matching targets. But again, it'll make sense why when we push up, I'll be going in heavy short. This is a Q1 chart, just showed you. We did come down, we found support on this blue line right here. We got a perfect touch on this support level here. But like I said, a lot of support here. We're above this point, we're pushing up. Again, why I closed my short. But I'll come back, I'll give you key support and resistance levels. Guys, if you want to get into leverage trading, I use BitGet. I do love their platform. You can do up to 125 times leverage. If you want to use my affiliate link, is pinned down in the first comment and description. Guys, I would suggest though, if you do get into leverage trading, practice, know what you're doing before you do it. I have a tutorial how to do simulated trades on BitGet. I'll put a link up to that video now if you want to check it out. Remember, always use the stop loss, guys. Protect yourself. So let's get into this. So again, your downside target for the head and shoulders was around 20K. We held support and we're pushing up. Remember, your key resistance above is around 22,891. This is fib retracement. We're going to come back to these charts, but I want to explain to you why I'm expecting some upside, and it's based on this P1 chart. And I'll make this very clear. I'll come back to this chart and show you why it's more likely we push up to a certain point. Then we'll come down and get rejected. But first, before we cover these charts, one thing I would like to show you. So this is the S&P 500. Now, I'll tell you right now, Bitcoin tends to follow the S&P and the NASDAQ a lot more closely than the Dow Jones chart. The reason I'm always talking about the Dow Jones is because I have the Dow Jones charted to where I can find tops almost to the dollar. So while, yes, it's possible that the S&P and the NASDAQ could get a pump, I know potentially where the top is for the Dow, meaning that even if the markets push up, eventually the indices will come crashing down. I'm going to cover that also. But you can see here, this is the S&P 500. And take note right here, you can see that this is your resistance, this is your support. Notice we have not come down to test the support level yet. So the S&P could hold support and push up. And if you notice, this is almost identical to Bitcoin. Except the only difference is you'll notice, look, this is our resistance right here. This is our support. Except you notice we came back down below the support level. This is now our resistance. So most people see that and they think it's bearish. Our previous resistance, right, was support. Now that's resistance, which means it's bearish. We're going to come down. However, Bitcoin follows the indices. So if the indices will hold support here and push up, then that means Bitcoin's going to push up as well. Now, I would like to point out, so let me go back to this chart. So this right here, this was when they released the CPI, I guess it was the CPI data on, it was back on May 4th. We got a pump up to that point, and then we got a dump. It was about a 13.52% dump. And then when they released the CPI data on, it was the 15th of June, we got a little pump, we got a dump, and then we got a pump, all right? So it's like they're trying to trick people, so you don't know what's going to happen. If you followed me, and so this is Bitcoin. When the CPI data came out, Bitcoin dropped, what, 46%, and then when they released the CPI data the next time, we got a dump, but I used a ring on my DXY chart predicting that even though that's when the CPI data came out hot, right? It was like over 9%. Everybody was bearish, expecting more downside. I was saying no, the DXY is topped out to come down to expect a pump. That was this video here. I'll put a link up to it now if you want to check it out. But this is key, guys, because this was a ring on the DXY that I used to predict what was going to happen. I said the DXY would top out at this ring, come down, Bitcoin would push up. And this is the published version of this chart. July 12th, I published this. I'm going to play so you can see what happened. We topped out, we came down, and Bitcoin pushed up. So even though the CPI data came out hot, everybody was bearish, I was bullish on Bitcoin because I knew the DXY would come down. Now, this does play along with the Dow Jones. Now, I'm going to explain why I'm expecting the crash to happen, and then I'm going to show you on the P1 chart why I think it's possible to have upside for Bitcoin. So this is my Dow Jones chart. So if for some reason, again, the Fed is going to be releasing either it's going to be 75 basis points or 100 basis points. Either way, I think most people are bearish, and I'm a contrarian, so I think we're going to get a pump. The Bitcoin chart will make it'll make more sense. So even if we push up, the highest I see the Dow going up is maybe a little less than 2%. That does not mean the NASDAQ and the S&P can't push up a lot more. But again, I'm telling you the top for the Dow is around 32,329. That will be the top, even if the NASDAQ pushes up twice as much. When the indices move, they move together. So if the Dow starts coming down a lot, the S&P and the NASDAQ will come down as well. And this chart right here tells me the Dow is topped out. So this is why I believe a crash is coming, regardless if we push up. You can see this orange fib circle. This called the top before the COVID crash. This called support down here. This was a top at 27,471. This is a very key support level for the Dow. This is where I think the Dow is heading. That's why I'm expecting a major crash for Bitcoin. This called a top at 29,177. This called the absolute top for the Dow. This called another top, and I'm telling you this is a top right here. And I'm telling you your next support is around 26,443 for the Dow, and that is a drop of, from current price, that's a drop of around 16%. That would be catastrophic for Bitcoin. So this is why I'm expecting a crash. Currently the Dow, let me just show you this. So this chart I just showed you right here, this green ring right here, this is where I was expecting something to happen. And I just want to show you that I have a published chart showing this. This was published on August 22nd, 2021. Going by these previous fib circles, I knew every time we hit a ring, potentially we push us down. Every time we hit a ring, we'd move underneath it. This was when we had a COVID crash. So we hit this point, we came down. So it made sense when we hit this ring, I thought we'd move underneath it, but you'll see what actually happened. We actually rode down this ring, and as I just showed you in that previous chart, I expect us to continue to ride down this ring to that target again, and that is this chart here, around 26,443. Again, indices down, Bitcoin down. So that explains why I'm expecting a crash. Currently, you can see the Dow is up 120 points. I think it's going to be bullish. I think price is going to push up when the Fed raises the interest rates. And then once it gets to a certain point, it's going to top out and then come down. Now, let me go back to the Bitcoin chart and explain to you why I'm expecting upside. Now, I covered this previously, and the reason I think we have upside, and just go back, this P1 chart, again, this P1 chart I'm using to predict that potentially Bitcoin's going to be around 10,000 early September. You can see the angle of these lines are parallel, right? Completely parallel. But notice what happens. So I'm going to go back all the way over here. Every time we push up, we always test this line. So this white line, these, again, all of these are parallel, just so you can tell. So you can see they match these fib channel lines. Every time we push up, right, we resistance, resistance, we push up and test it again before we drop. All right, that happened there. It happened right here. Look, we pushed up, resistance, resistance, tested it again, then we drop. It happened right here, resistance, 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 then we dropped. It happened again. resistance, 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 and then we dropped. It happened again. Resistance, resistance, and then we dropped. So my point is, the reason I think that we'll push up is because, first of all, everybody is bearish and market makers want to take your money. So if dumb money is bearish, expecting more downside, more likely we're going to push up. So again, if it plays out like the previous, 5 times I just showed you, that means we need to push up and test at least, and I think we'll probably go higher than this point. I'm going to give you that price target, but I think at the very least we'll push up to this orange line right here, and that will play along with what I just showed you previously. Right back here. Every time we drop, we don't hit it once and then come down. We hit it at least twice or more than twice. We hit it once, twice, and then drop. So for this to play out, we need to push up and test it again. The question is, do we come up and test where the wick is or the meat of the candle? I think it's more likely it'll be the meat of the candle. So again, let me give you this target, and I'll show you some matching resistance levels that this will kind of make sense. So if we push up, all right, the first resistance you want to watch is around 21,925. So let's just say 22,000. If we push above that, and there is some confluence here, this is around 22,300. And this is a very key resistance level. I can show you this on another chart. So if we come back over here, look, 22,300. Right out here. This is on the 2 hour, by the way. So if you look at this was his head and shoulders, right? So this is what I was talking about in the previous video. This is resistance, support, support. Came up, tested as resistance. That's why I said remain short below this point. We came down, we held support. So if we push up, a likely upside target will be that previous neckline for the head and shoulders. That would be an ideal point to short, around 22,300. If we do get above that, I do have another target. But again, you can see your current support right now is right here at 20,844. And your next resistance, this would be a scalp short only. If you want to try a scalp short, right here, you can see how well we're respecting this trend line as resistance, support, support, support. So this would be resistance around 21,673, but I would continue to stay long. If you're already long from below, I would stay in that long up to 22,300. Potentially higher. So let's compare some targets. So let's go back to this chart if I can find it, guys. So your next upside target would be, and this again, so 22,800, right? So let's look for some confluence with this orange line right here. 22,800. Well, we know on this chart, where is my M1 chart? 22,800, 22,850 right here. This is a Fib retracement. This has been very strong resistance. Let me make this red. So that target matches, right? 22,800 matches this target right here. So this is a potential top. So I will go in and heavy short at 22,300 with a stop above it. If we push above, I get stopped out. The next point I short is 22,800. I find it less likely that we'll push up to this target. This would be the highest point I think we could go. This is around 23,500. It's at an angle. Depends on when you make contact. I'm going to see if I find any confluence with that. So that target was 23,500. Let's see here. All right, this is 23,000. So let's see what this next one is above. All right, that would put us above that point, so I do not think we'd go that high. Your next point above 22,300 on this chart is 23,000. This is the Q1 chart. This is 22,800, so this is a third chart in confluence with a potential top. You have this orange line I just showed you on the P1 chart, right? And this also is a support and resistance level. Resistance, support, support, resistance. So we know, and guys, this is confluence. When you have two lines converging, this is double resistance. So if we get above 22,300, 22,863, I have a lot of charts showing that's very strong resistance. I would go in a heavier short around 22,850, around that area, expecting that to be the top for the drop. The absolute highest point we can go. In my opinion, again, like I just showed you on that chart, that is a lot of damn confluence. You got 3 points of resistance here. The white line I just showed you in the P1 chart, and you got 2 resistance levels above. So 23,500, 23,600 would be the absolute top before the drop. 23,900, let's see here. Okay, so this line actually is a confluence as well. 23,900, 23,651. But I do think that pretty much 23,641 would be the absolute top. So your points to watch, guys. And again, the P1 chart is all you really need to watch. Your first resistance to pay attention to, 21,925. Your next point to watch, 22,300. If you get above that, 22,800. The absolute top, before we come down, I do not believe it is possible to go higher than 23,500, and I just showed you why. Every single damn time we push up the previous resistance level, we test it one more time before that drop. So that is why I do not see us going above those points, but these are your upside targets. So again, I will chance a small short here at 21,925 around that general area. I will chance a heavier short at 23,300. I will go in a very heavy short at 22,829. And if we happen to get above that, 23,500, I will go all in on a crazy ass short. So again, that's why I believe we have some upside before we have that crash. And the Dow Jones chart is the reason I'm expecting us to top out. And I'm showing you this one more time. You can see how well this orange fib circle, this is a fib circle. All these orange rings are connected. This ring, right, this fib circle right here. You can see how well this called the exact top for the Dow. When we came back down, we found support here, pushed up, called the next top. And I'm telling you right here, this is a potential top for the Dow. Everybody's bearish. That means we'll probably get a push up to fake people out, to get longs to stack before we come crashing down. But ultimately, even if we do push up, I'm expecting a major drop for the Dow, which means all the indices will be following suit and coming down as well. And your next major support for the Dow is around 26,443. And I believe when we hit that target is when we will hit around $10,000 for Bitcoin early September. But guys, that's pretty much it. Let me make sure I gave you all your key support resistance levels. So again, your key support below is 20,844. And your strongest support below, as I mentioned in that previous video, well, is going to be down here around 20,145 down to 19,793. Those would be great points to enter along. But your current support now is right below us at 20,878. Next resistance, 21,673. And as I showed you why those key resistance levels, that's why I'm going to heavy short. Let's go to this chart real quick. Yeah, so 20,863. 23,641, and then that one I gave you, 22,300. Go back and watch it again if you want those price targets again, guys. But if you do want to access these charts, guys, website's opticalcrypto.com, link to be pinned first comment description. Remember, you can when you sign up at the $49 option, you can get access. $49 a month, get access to Bitcoin charts, altcoin charts, Discord, and Twitter. But guys, that's it. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.